And this will be a holiday like no other. Mental health important now more than ever. Joining us live this morning is psychologist Dr. Michelle Carcel. And Dr. Carcel, this is a time of year, typically a joyous one, but with this pandemic, many people not having large gatherings, loneliness, isolation, that can become an issue. How should people manage that, especially now?
Yes, right now, this is something that is incredibly impacting, and it's something that's going to be, affecting families all over the country, all over the world. So at this point in time, there's a couple of things that can really help. When it comes to managing stress, ironically enough, we found in research that 41% of Americans right now are feeling incredible stress. There was also another research study that reported that out of 8 high-income countries, that the United States was the greatest in mental health and stressors and also financial consequences from COVID-19. So this is quite significant. So on top of all of this, we now have to social distance from our loved ones, which can be incredibly impacting. So at this point, there's a couple of things we can do. The first is we want to make an effective plan. Plan how you want to engage with your family members. Some of this can be through Zoom. Some of this can be, if you are in your nuclear family, you are able to participate since you're all in the same household. Make sure that you have a good plan. The second thing is know your coping mechanisms. Know what it is that can help you when you are experiencing stress. So for example, music is a wonderful way to soothe stressors. Or if you're into physical activity, social distance outside, do a physical activity, have some fun with that. Also lean on your social support. That is incredibly important right now. Engaging with friends, even if it is via, types of, or virtual types of options, it's really good to talk to people that we care about and make sure that we're engaging. And lastly, just make sure that overall that you're really self-caring and using compassion during this difficult time. If you're noticing judgments, if you're noticing, hey, this is something that I really want to do but can't do it, and you're noticing these critical voices and stuff that's going on inside, you want to make sure that you regulate that with compassion and self-care.
And we have another question. Of course, we know that a lot of us are going to gather with family members. That's either going to be on Zoom or in person. And there's probably going to be a lot of talks and opinions at the dinner table about politics. How do you not ruin that time together with loved ones, especially at a time where we rarely see them?
Yes, we have undergone something quite interesting this year, to say the least. So if there is circumstances that can be triggered in our families, or if you're coming into a family dynamic where there are differences of opinion here or just challenges with political strife, the first thing you want to do is set some boundaries. It's very important when we're engaging with our family members to make this time a joyous and peaceful time as much as possible. Obviously, it can be very difficult, but if we can state up front that we'd like to not engage in any discourse here, or just basically say, hey, you know what, we know that this is a point of contention. Let's go ahead and try to put this aside and talk about other topics, things that can make it a little lighter, a little easier. That can really be beneficial. So kind of going in ahead of time and almost making sure that that discussion is stated even before any other engagements happen. Easier said than done, but definitely if the topics do still come up, then maybe swaying into another topic and not engaging. We don't want to make this harder than it already is. It's so difficult right now, so much stress, so much concern. So we really want to mitigate that as much as possible.
And Dr. Carcel, one really quick question. We're going into a new year soon. I know some people think that it can't happen fast enough. How do you mentally reset yourself knowing that we're still in this pandemic? Some people say it's like Groundhog Day over and over again.
Right. Yes, it can feel like that. Absolutely. So one of the things that we want to do is try our best to do a new normal if we can. So right now, this pandemic has created something that is a temporary normal. We are very hopeful. The outlook is looking very promising with the vaccine research that we're seeing. So this is very positive, but it can still feel like that repetitive type of cycle that we've been enduring day after day. So what I encourage people to do is every year there's the New Year's resolutions piece. So really looking at stuff that you can do right now and enjoy that time and try to make new goals, new things that you can do in this new normal until we reset back into our old patterns, which are very much favorable and we do miss. So I do encourage people to think about the bucket list items that you can do still currently that you haven't gotten to this past year. And as things start to settle and as we start to see changes, that we're able to go back to our old routines and really get back into what we enjoy.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Michelle Carcel. We really appreciate your time this morning and appreciate you giving us and viewers all of those tips as we head into the holiday season. Thanks again.
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you.